Hello, wonderful. It is Sarah, and here to talk about finding love and success after a toxic relationship. And I want to talk about major and minor betrayals. And I'm still at Power of Self, and they gave us a really cool thing that's actually from a resource called Trust and Betrayal in the Workplace. And you can see, which I think is backwards for you, but you can see there's major and minor betrayals, and they split it up by intentional and unintentional. And this is from, like I said, a book called Trust and Betrayal in the Workplace. And major betrayals and minor betrayals. And one of the things that I found interesting in this process, we all talk about like, don't sweat the small stuff, right? Or it's probably not that big of a deal. Or, it's just a minor betrayal. It's not a major betrayal. My hair's looking really cute right now. We start with yoga, so I'm not dressed up for this for this event. But with the major and minor betrayals, we put a lot of emphasis on having something that we feel is major and making it more minor in our life. And one of the things that I pointed out was that sometimes there are major betrayals in our life that we keep trying to make minor so we don't have to deal with them. Your mom tells you you're worthless. Your husband calls you a bitch. You find out someone cheated on you. You find out your parent was completely bashing you to your sibling, or your parent took your money, or your parent's always asking you for money when they should be their own adult, or, you have somebody at the workplace who's spreading rumors about you. These are major betrayals. And you're getting a lot of information out there about don't sweat the small stuff, don't make a big deal about everything, okay? And there's a reason, that information is out there, because that can be true. But what can also be true is it's really easy to ignore the mountains, because we don't want to deal with the mountains. We don't want to face the mountains. We don't want to have to climb over the mountains. So as you go through today and go through this weekend and you start out 2020 and you want to evaluate your life, think about, yes, we don't want to make mountains out of molehills, but we also don't want to make molehills out of mountains. If it's a big deal, it's a big deal. And if, you're telling your story and someone kind of goes, or, oh gosh, it's a big deal. And it may not feel like a big deal for you if you've been living that way for a long time, if you were raised that way, and it can feel just like normal. And I remember telling people stories in my own life, and they were like, oh my gosh, it's really bad. And I was like, oh, it's just normal Thursday, but it was control, and it was manipulation, and it was me living in just this incredible bondage. But just like a fish swims in water and doesn't realize it's in water, when you've been living in manipulation and control for so long, and chaos, toxic people create chaos because it's easier to control. So when you've been living in that control for so long, you don't even realize it anymore. It's just like a fish swimming in water. You don't even realize it's happening. So as you evaluate your life, you can go into 2020, and you see these little things, because this kept me in bondage for a long time, because I'd see things that were meant for other people. They were not meant for people in toxic relationships, but we cling to them. We want to grab onto them and think, okay, it's not really that bad, or, I'm strong enough to take it, or, it's not that big of a deal. Try to take some time, get with a friend, get with me, get with someone, and honestly evaluate, is it a big deal? Because if we never move the mountains in our life, if we never deal with the mountains, they're going to cause stress, they're going to cause anxiety, they're going to cause pain. They're not going away on their own, okay? So I hope that helps. I love taking information from things that have nothing to do with toxic relationships and bringing clarity into toxic relationships. Watch out for those feel-good memes. Watch out for those relationships advice that are not about toxic relationships. I have great respect for the authors. The guy who wrote The Sacred Marriage, I think, Gary Thomas, I believe is his name. So much respect for him, because he wrote a book assuming people were fighting over socks in the floor, or fighting over where to have dinner. And then the feedback he got were women who were saying, oh my gosh, what if when my husband, is threatening me? What if my husband's breaking things in my house? What if my husband's doing this? Because there's a book on marriage. And I have so much respect that he pivoted and said, there's this category of somewhat normal, and there's this category of dangerous and abnormal and abusive and absolutely toxic. Okay, I have so much respect for him. So few people are willing to do that. So his stuff's great if you want to check it out on YouTube or whatnot. But take some time and decide, is it really a mountain? Is it a molehill? If you are embarrassed to tell anyone that it happened, it's a mountain. If you try to hide the ramifications of it, it's a mountain. If you tell someone, they kind of like jump back or appear shocked, it is a mountain. Okay? Hope you have a great Saturday. I'm off to another day of Power of Self and to yoga. Have a great day.